Welcome to Believe in Kentucky. Vinny Hardy alongside Mike Vrabel, bringing you an episode of the latest things concerning the Cats. It must be nice to have a team in the playoffs. I don't know what that's like, so I'm not going to be bitter. I'm not going to be bitter. Eagles are out, so I can be a hater and petty, so I'm glad to see that. Hope Seattle knocks the Niners out next week. I'm petty. I'm not rooting for anybody. No dog in the fight. I just hate watching all these other teams, especially in the NFC. And if the Steelers get knocked out too, that will hurt my feelings. What's going on, Cole? Got your bags packed? How we doing, man?
Doing good. Obviously, Cats play at LSU on Wednesday, so I'll be hitting the road. Was gonna leave Monday, and I was like, I got radio tonight. We can do the show tonight, so I'm gonna stay an extra day here today, get our show done, get our show recorded, do some radio tonight, and then we're leaving tomorrow morning to head to Baton Rouge all day tomorrow driving. Got the game Wednesday, and I might stay an extra day Thursday, enjoy some alligators in Louisiana. Come back Friday before we got to head to Knoxville on Saturday. So it'll be a busy week, but getting ready for LSU. Spoke to Mark Pope this morning, had his pre-LSU press conference for about 25 minutes, and spoke to him after the game as well, as one does in the reporting field. So spoke to him a couple times since the Mississippi State game, and we'll be getting ready to go to Baton Rouge. Hopefully it's a little bit better than my last trip to Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay. Drop that one, right?
That would be the one that Rob Dillingham scored too early, and they got a buzzer beater and then stormed the court with Angel Reese.
Okay, yeah, it's gotta be uphill from there for sure, man. Yes, for sure. Um, so first of all, we're live on YouTube and Facebook page and all that good stuff. So follow and subscribe at Believe in Kentucky on X and Twitter and TikTok. It's in the link tree next to all of that. If you follow us on Twitter, click on Linktree and then subscribe and like and follow all those platforms. Quite a few of y'all watched the last episode where we were talking about Kentucky being what they are and kind of reaching their ceiling and the way it was looking. That after the Missouri loss at home, the 15-2 run, and all that. Um, and now we'll get into. We already got people in the comments. We appreciate it. J Lo and JQ, their status. So we get full strength for a couple games, and then we go back to what we saw for quite a while.
Yeah, Vinny, I realized that in a job half based around guessing what's going to happen, apparently I'm terrible at it because what in the world did we just witness on Saturday? I mean, we're talking about a team that was playing without its best big, arguably, its best projected NBA player, and then its point guard goes down in the first 3 minutes of the game. They're down double digits in less than 5 minutes, and the home crowd is booing them.
Yeah.
And they win by 24 points. What happened? What they looked dead in the water. I literally put out in our every game, if you're interested, the Cat's Paws 247, completely free. You don't need to be a subscriber. We do a message board, game thread. You can join the conversation, talk about what's going on, talk about what you're seeing. I'll be in there leaving updates and giving my talk and my thoughts more than I put on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days. But nonetheless, they look. I said, I was like, this one might get ugly. I said, this one might get ugly. The Boo Birds were out in less than 5 minutes. Cats were down double digits. They looked lifeless. And then they just turned it on. They came back. They led at halftime, and then they come out in the second half, the same starting lineup, minus Jalen Lowe, which they subbed for Cam Williams. I actually kind of like that. And they started to let Mississippi State come back. Mississippi State got back within 1 point, and then Pope, did something that maybe a lot of us wouldn't have expected. He let them play it out. He let them stay out there. And I talked to Malachi Marino about that after the game. He admitted, he said that was big for me. He said because that confidence and that trust in us was important. And once, he admitted, he said, once we started pulling away again after they got back close and then Kentucky expanded that gap again, he's like, I knew we had the game won. I knew we could do it. And boy, did they, because they outscored Mississippi State 48-29 in the second half to a 92-68 win. I mean, I understand some of it was I understand some of it was capitalizing on a matchup issue, but like somebody just said in the chat there, it wasn't a coincidence that Malachi brought up Amari Williams in the post game. It wasn't a coincidence that this game arguably felt the most like Kentucky from last year. I mean, this team, it was playing through its big. Amari Williams was the leading assist guy on this team. I think he had 6 assists, also 4 steals, insane stats for a big man. But 6 assists, and this was the most assists Kentucky's had against a high major opponent this year. I mean, they looked really good. They were distributing the ball, making plays for teammates. They had 21 assists tonight, which is still not exactly where you want to be, but it's way better than we've seen up to this point, right? And playing through their bigs, distributing the ball. The 3 ball was falling a bit better than it had been prior. It felt a little bit like last year's team. And when you look at the final score, it looked like something last year's team would have done with a slightly better defense than maybe we saw at times last year. The 90-68. I mean, for a team that I thought was going to get blown out with Boo Birds at home, they turned it around and they looked perhaps the best. I would say better than they looked against St. John's or Indiana. I'm not saying Mississippi State is exactly the same caliber of opponent as a St. John's or an Indiana. I might put Indiana the best of those 3, quite frankly, right now. But regardless, a high major opponent that has some high major wins, and they looked phenomenal. They looked really, really good, and they blew them out of the water.
Yeah, and honestly, based on what we had been seeing, it was hard for me. I hate to be that way. I was just kind of skeptical every time I watched the team play. The Missouri games, and, all these out of conference games. You're watching, even in like had they won the Missouri game, I'm like, man, they're still going to play a lot better than this if they want to get anywhere. But this ceiling is still, just,
to that point, Vinny, 247 Sports requires that I put out a buzzer gamer for every game. So I'm writing my story during the game a little bit. And, well, I'm writing all of it during the game because I have to have it out at the buzzer. And I had expected that to be a win before that 15-2 run. I had to change it last minute to account for the fact that they lost that game somehow. But I said exactly what you just said. In the way I was writing my gamer was an ugly win that does not give you confidence about the team. Even if they had not lost that game, I did not feel any better about this team whatsoever based on how they played against Missouri. And then you feel even worse because they blow it with a 15-2 run. After this, I don't know.
Yeah. I saw a comment, and because we got it, the way it is on YouTube, it like shows vertical and horizontal. Like vertical is for the phones and all that, but comment said that you could see like my mic in the top of your head or something like that. So I just put a link in there for the other one. So if you check that one, click that one, you probably can see us as we would normally appear, nobody and everybody else. But definitely appreciate y'all in there commenting, and hopefully you get a little bit of view. And definitely about something like that. No, you there? Over there.
There you go.
Okay, maybe I just need to stay a little closer. But yeah, so LSU 0-3 in the league.
Also, a team that has had some injury issues. Also, gotta be honest and fair about it.
But this team, this team still has a margin for error. You can't just go thinking you can just walk in there and beat them because it's a Wednesday night. And if you rest on your laurels, you'll be 1-3, and they'll be 1-3 at the end of the night. So
you know where that bill. You know where this game's taking place, Vinny?
The PMAC,
the Pistol Pete Maravich Center.
Yes.
Assembly
look, man, get him. You gotta give him credit, man. You look at LSU, Pete Maravich, of course, Shaq, but before your time, but Chris Jackson,
Ben Simmons. Yeah. It's okay, LeBron. We got Ben Simmons now.
For the old Chris Jackson, aka Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Bob Pettit, if you want to go back to the 50s, that dude, LSU has had some. Stromile Swift was great at LSU. His pro career didn't go like everybody thought, but they always have some talent down there. Dale Brown used to love to beat Kentucky. The miracle, the Mardi Gras miracle, Kentucky down 31, and they win at LSU. And then conversely, we had the Bluegrass miracle where they rip our hearts out on the football field. That was just documented on the SEC Network a few months ago. So a lot of little stuff with Kentucky and LSU. Look, I mean, we've had Darren Rosenthal and Kevin Joseph transferred to Kentucky. Barian Brown transfers to LSU. Matt House left Kentucky to go to LSU. So a lot of back and forth between the two.
And on top of that, too, at that point, I mean, LSU is not a juggernaut in the SEC the way some teams are, like Kentucky. And we always associate the SEC until lately with not being a basketball conference. But let's be honest here. LSU is a team that's been to 4 Final Fours in 3 different decades. They're not a program that has no history. And, like you just said with some of those players, they are a program that has had success before and is very capable of having very good seasons.
Yep. And to our chagrin, 86, Eddie Sutton should have been in the Final Four, beat LSU 3 times. And then that 4th time, they lose by 1 or 2 points to them. Nobody in the comments says we whooped Shaq. I think that was at Rupp when we were on probation. Nobody was able to see it. Richie Farmer and those guys, beat Big Bad Shaq and LSU when Pitino first got there. So only the people in the building saw it because there was no television, and we were on punishment. We were for those scandals and things. But yeah, a lot of fun back and forth between Kentucky and LSU for sure.
On probation.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he went ahead and his talents to the Charlotte Hornets because of
also, that. Fun little fact about this one, not to... Damn.
Oh, Rick's old autograph.
Yeah. Hey. Also, as far as I'm concerned, LSU's already won the national title. They have the most coveted win any team can get in sports. It went to overtime, but December 3rd, final score in overtime, 78 LSU, 69 your Boston College Eagles. So as far as I'm concerned, they've already peaked for the season by beating Boston College. And by that logic, Central Connecticut State has also peaked this season, but
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's dubious. So did LSU go up to Boston to get that, or was it neutral site?
Yeah, they were home. It was that was held in Conte Forum in Chestnut Hill. It's like it. But my BC Eagles 7-9 on the season. Lost at FAU, lost to Central Connecticut State, Davidson, Tulane, LSU, UMass, Georgia Tech, NC State, and Louisville. There's a lot of buildings that you don't just walk into with a victory. Conte Forum is not one of those buildings. You can absolutely walk into Conte Forum and do whatever you please, I fear. But
man, see, you like the Fansville commercial. You got a side team. You like Bushy Bill.
That's Western. Put some respect on Western.
Go Western. Oh, you have a side team.
Yes, I got my main team. You see the helmet right there, and I got the big helmet back across the room. I got the blanket right here.
Yeah,
I got my main team. If anything, Kentucky's my side team.
That's hilarious. It is what it is. So, do they, stay the court? Do they have what it takes to go down there and win? Will they? I mean, they do, but will they? They've been so up and down. It's such a roller coaster. And look, you mentioned it. Marino was facilitating. It was in the comments. Marino did the Amari thing. So, and we had a Yelovich sighting. We got to talk about that.
We had a Trent Noah sighting for 6 seconds too. But we did. Andrei Yelovich played really good today. I actually asked Mark Pope about him today and got a good answer. Let me take 2 seconds to pull up my transcript here because I did ask about Yeli today. Asked about, I wish I could just have this pulled up ahead of time. You'd think if I was good at my job, but yeah, here we go. He said he was. Mark Pope said Yelovich was awesome, handled it great. He, called him a very steady human. Really praised him for how he's handled, or keeping it honest, how he's handled getting these DNPs these last few games because he's been a ghost as we've seen. He said he's very steady. He's obviously he would rather be playing, but he's been through this before. He's staying the course. He's confident. He knows what he needs to do. And that he had some insight that he might be going to that game on Saturday. And when his name was called, he was ready to go. And a guy who won't really jump off the stat sheet at you. Pope even said he had a couple of defensive breakdowns, but all in all, I mean, he gave you some steady minutes. He played some solid basketball, and he did really what you want to see out of Andrei Yelovich. You're not expecting him to take the world over anymore. He had a plus 14 and a plus minus, so he didn't hurt you, and he played some strong ball after not being in for a couple games. So good that we see that out of there. I also asked about Trent Noah, who was out there for like 6 seconds in the final minute. He's completely fine. Don't worry. He walked out there, banged knees with somebody, and then got taken out. Mark Pope said, and I quote, "I want to make a joke about it, but I won't. He banged knees. He's fine."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, yeah, just don't make any jokes. I guess probably that's probably for the better.
It is funny though.
The whole, go ahead.
Trent Noah made his glorious return to Kentucky basketball if you look at the stat broadcast, subbed in with 1:41 to go, subbed out with 1:35 to go.
Yeah.
Crisp 6 seconds.
Quicker than when J-Lo got hurt the first time. He got 7 seconds, right? When he hurt his shoulder
like
before.
It was like 7 seconds, yeah. This time he got 3 minutes, so.
Yeah, so and Mark Pope might be a little gunshot to say anything after the press conference pre-Mississippi State with the context or not, but you can't say I want to kill myself and curl up and kill myself. You can't. I'm sure Deb Moore was like, no, because any other time he's like, Deb, am I allowed to say that? And this time he's just spouting off.
People had a lot of takes on that, and I think you can think however you want about that, but everyone's like, where's that coming from? And then someone's like, well, John Pelfrey said the same thing. Why are both they played for Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino says stuff like that all the time. That's Rick Pitino said like 2 years ago he wanted to go outside and die of frostbite because his team lost a game. Like you're wondering where this comes from. They played for Rick Pitino. That's where it's coming from. Rick Pitino says that all the time. It's not the end of the world. It is what it is. You can feel how you want to about it, but like if you want some context as to why is he saying that, where is that coming from? It's because of Rick Pitino.
So, but in a year where everybody's already ready to pounce and upset and on the ledge,
right? Yeah, I mean,
and you was trying to calm stuff down and just dump.
It came off a little bit tone deaf and how people felt at the moment. Yeah, because I understood, and I even thought it was a bit humorous, but I understand why it got the reaction it did, and there's a time and a place for certain things like that. And I also feel like whether this is fair or not, Rick Pitino can say stuff like that because what are you going to say to Rick Pitino? He's taken so many schools to the Final Four. He's won national titles. He's coaching the NBA. You can't say anything to Rick Pitino. Mark Pope isn't quite there yet with the resume to just be able to say whatever he wants to. You know what I mean? Like kind of the same way with John Calipari. Like you can be annoyed with John Calipari all you want to, but John Calipari is to the point in the sport where he can kind of say whatever he wants to. It's John Calipari. Mm-hmm. Mark Pope doesn't quite have that luxury just yet. So you got to be a bit more playing it safe with that.
Yeah, Rick's been through, on the good side, more production, more accomplishments. On the bad side, he's already been dragged to a lot more scandalous stuff and salacious stuff. So he's been through the whole gamut. And at this point, what's the rule when you're like, young dapper Rick?
Always got to show up the library all the time.
I mean, that's the point where you just say you want now, like 75. When you're 70, is that where you're like, you say what you want? I think that's the rule. When you're at that point, you're in your golden years. You just say whatever, no repercussions. You basically just YOLO talking at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely just get to a point where you don't have anything left to prove, so you say what you want to say, and everyone else will deal with the consequences.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's read that. So I know it's basketball, but um, Oregon, this season came to an end, and now Will Stein is here full time,
Oh
and
boy, did it come to an end.
he's been
Oh
working the
boy, did
portal.
it.
Yes, yes. And Kentucky portal is benefiting from that. But I didn't see I didn't see that beatdown coming when Oregon came back and tied it at 7. I thought, okay, we got a ball game.
Yeah, Vinny,
And
I'm not an expert in predicting football, but I thought there might have been a reason for concern when the very first play of the game was a pick six. Not generally how you want to start a football game. And
yeah,
somehow it went downhill from there. Shout out to, I don't want to rag on anybody. Dante Moore is a phenomenal quarterback, but it was definitely a low light kind of game for him. I mean, fumbling off the arm of your own running back, tough scenes. I think was it the stat where like Indiana scored like 28 points going like 60 yards or something like that, like something ridiculous like that. It just
their
rough
offense and their
scenes.
defense were trading touchdowns. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
And I mean, I also understand it's good for the game that it is that way, but I props to Oregon for scoring that touchdown to tie it because I don't know how you go back out just completely unfazed after throwing a pick six on the first play of the game. Then because you're the offense, you have to go right back out there and be like, all right, guys, let's not do that again.
yeah,
So, and they
yeah.
drove down the field and scored. That was insane. And then they just couldn't quite match Indiana from there.
But we saw Mercedes, whatever it is in Atlanta now, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I think, because the Superdome's in New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah. And the Indiana fans showed out. There were a few specks of green in the crowd. It was basically, South Bloomington. Now you get the national championship game where Miami is
And
playing in
Miami's home stadium.
Miami.
It's happened in the Super Bowl too, and I said this before. Like, I know you can't necessarily predict who's going to be in it, but that's ridiculous to me that Miami gets like not even just like a in their city. It's literally a home game. That's where they play their football games.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Indiana shows up with that. And I mean, we listen. Everybody, I think, is about ready to just hand Indiana the trophy. But as we all know, your Patriots was ready to hand the trophy. With the Giants, they were just, hey, give them the trophy. And,
Don't remind me. Don't remind me, Vinny.
I hate, so as bad as I just want to say, look, Indiana's just going to run through Miami. We've seen stranger things happen.
I mean, I don't know what to do about Miami at this point because I thought that they weren't going to make the playoffs, and they did. And then I was like, well, they're going to lose to A&M, and then they won. And I was like, well, okay, that's cool, but they'll lose their second round matchup to, was it Ohio State? No, they won that too. So like, okay, well, I don't know. They could beat Ole Miss, and then they did. So I thought they were going to get eliminated 3-4 times before this point, and here they are in the national title game. Fun little bit of I saw someone point this out. I think was it some people tied this back to this championship is Caitlin Clark's fault because Caitlin Clark cooking Haley Van Lith led to Haley Van Lith transferring out of LSU. And then that led to she transferred somewhere where one of the Cavender twins didn't want to share her playing time, so she transferred, and that Cavender twin was dating Carson Beck, which meant when Carson Beck left Georgia, he decided to go to Miami to be with her, and now Carson Beck's their starting quarterback that's led them to the national title game. So one of those cool butterfly effect moments there.
I have not heard that. I was wondering how you're going to connect it. Yep. All right, CC. So all because of you.
Oh. Seems breaking right now. Jalen Lowe will undergo season-ending shoulder surgery. Not shocking, but
no. Not at all. And he gave it a go and another go and another go. And I saw your quote from your article earlier. I just had it up on X, but it was say Mark Pope was saying that he was in. Oh, Mark Pope said that could wake up perfectly or something like that.
I hope
I was
that.
hoping he was going to wake up feeling perfectly. He hasn't woke up feeling perfectly since before the blue white game. I mean, that's he hasn't woke up feeling good in a long time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really
Uh,
is.
2 years in a row, and this one's even worse than the Lamont Butler because you have that's
Yeah, I
on the
mean,
Collins show. Yeah, the Collins show going on right now. Yep, sure enough.
I was um I was always big about trying to be cautious about saying things like, before it was confirmed, I didn't want to definitively say like he's gonna have to have surgery. I would try to say like probably, but I've known for quite a while this was a not an if but a when. He has surgery kind of thing. This
Mm-hmm,
wasn't just like a he needs to heal. It required surgery.
mm-hmm,
It was just a matter of when he needed to have that surgery, if he'd be able to play on it regardless. And it's popped out a couple more times now since he popped out again around the after the Louisville game. You're out for a little while. It pops out again in St. John's, but then it turns out to be fine. He's okay. He comes back, but then again against Mississippi State. I mean, I've heard it was hanging on by a thread, and it was just it's
yeah.
not going to work. Let's just have the surgery. Something Mark Pope was very put a lot of emphasis on, especially after the game. He said, "You want to protect their future while not robbing them of their present." So the
Mm-hmm,
thing that you have to ask is there a way where we can make this work? And quite frankly, as much as many Kentucky fans wish there was, looking at it, I just don't think there was. I don't think there was a scenario where it wasn't getting to the point where you're not only risking this thing popping out every game, but you're also risking doing worse damage to this shoulder that's already damaged. And just for the sake of this young man's career and the rest of his life, this is a guy who's looking at G League combines in the offseason. So he might have a future in basketball beyond just college. I mean, when you look at the rest of this kid's future, just have the surgery, man. I mean, come back to college another year if that's what you want to do. There's some people out there saying there's a possibility he is back at Kentucky next year, but regardless, just it, you're not going to play to the level you want to play anyway right now. I mean, Jalen Lowe even told us before the Missouri game that he's frustrated sometimes. There's things he wishes he could be doing that he just can't be doing right now with his arm,
mm-hmm.
and just have the surgery. And it seems like that's what they're going with. And as disappointing as it is for the sake of Kentucky's season, I think that's less disappointing after seeing how they responded against Mississippi State. Jasper Johnson's been making some big strides and being able to play point guard. Denzel did a better job at distributing the ball, hitting some shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's possible Kentucky does well without him, regardless. And for the sake of him and for the sake of his career and his life, just you gave it a shot. No one doubts that you wanted to play. No one doubts that your heart was in this fully. No one doubts that you
Right.
did all you could. But it isn't going to happen this year, and it seems like that's the decision they've come to, and I think that's the correct decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. That delicate balance and go as hard as you can and push the envelope as hard as you can until you way more harm than good. And
Yeah, I
definitely
mean
that's
Mark Pope had a quote about that today. When asked about how you balance that, and hopefully this will refresh here because I want to pull up this quote for you. It's a good quote. He said, these guys will do anything they can to play. He said J Lo has already proven that, right? He's doing anything he can to play. He said, I think for him, and he said this morning before he announced that because he said they were gonna have a consult at 4 p.m. today. I guess that's
mm-hmm.
where they made the decision. But before this morning we spoke to him, he said, I think for him is there a way that I can functionally do this and go out there and contribute? They desperately want to be out there. They desperately want to compete and help. They're trying, but it seems the decision was just there's not a functional way they can go out there and do that right now. So it's unfortunate, but it's what needed to happen.
Hope for a smooth, speedy, successful recovery, rehab, therapy, return to the court. Responsibility of whatever he decides to do once he's back, ready to play. those options and see what's next for him. So, definitely hate that. And put you back behind the eight ball for the guys you do have. Everybody that's watching the Caden Lewis do well, but this things even more. Goes back to the roster construction, and don't have a 2 point guard. You don't have a depth there, so now you just gotta do the best you can. What you got? Back to that mode again.
And they looked good. They looked good against Mississippi State. I get that it's Mississippi State, not quite the caliber of some of these teams they have coming up on the schedule, but they showed promise, shockingly, playing through their bigs. The same thing they did last year. Just do that again. Do it again. And it worked. So we'll see if they kind of keep that up. I'll be interested to see how well JQ is able to do that, if he's able to come back, if they kind of keep that same thing. But at the very least, if JQ can't, Malachi Moreno has shown a really strong ability to be able to do that. And he made a point of emphasis after the game, that he likes making plays for his teammates. It's something that's valuable to him. He brought up Amari Williams last year, not us. And that's something that's really important to him. It's part of the reason he chose Kentucky. Obviously, he's a hometown kid, being from Georgetown, and loves Kentucky, but we've seen players from the area that like Kentucky choose other places because it's about their role. And we saw Travis Perry leave Kentucky because it was about the role and the kind of position he'd have on the team and what's best for his career. So Malachi choosing Kentucky is not a decision he made lightly. He was regardless of what you thought about him in high school, he was a high-rated recruit, and he could have really had his pick. And he chose Kentucky for the way they played for their bigs, and he showed that on Saturday. I thought that was really impressive from him. His stat line with, let me read the full stat line here for you. I believe it was 17 points on 8 for 10 shooting with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, and 4 steals. He's only the third Wildcat to ever have a stat line like that, alongside Rajon Rondo and reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
It's good company, man. High praise. Yeah.
Malachi Moreno made me laugh, though. Someone presented with that stat, and his answer was, that's great company, but I have done nothing like that. I have no accomplishments like they have, so I'll try to be better. But he said I am nothing compared to them.
And he was
way to stay humble,
Yeah. He was matching Oway still from Steel there for a while.
He was.
Yeah. So we'll see how they respond, how they galvanize on the road. What's the world mentality? What's that news? What's the PMAC? Let's see how that works out. The Catspaw deal, you just gotta log in and get your thoughts. Just get an account and log in. That would be anything.
Yep. It's just make an account. It's free, I believe. Obviously we have VIP content that you will have to be a subscriber for and stuff like that. But to join the message board, just to be in the game threads, those are completely free to anybody. Anyone who wants to join the conversation is welcome to do so, encouraged to do so. It is completely free to join the conversation and be in there. You'll have my updates, my thoughts, my comments on the game, as well as others and what they think as the game is going on. Plus some of the post-game content. We can kind of discuss things. People can vent their frustrations, ask questions, ask for clarifications, give any kind of input they want to give. And it's moderated. So if someone's being just awful, then it's taken care of. So, all is well. Yes, it is. I believe it is 247sports.com/college/Kentucky, but you can also just look up the Cat's Paws and it'll be the first link you find.
X still in purgatory?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Right. But you can follow me on X, Cole Park _WSC. That is PARKE, Parkey, if you will. But _WSC, that's where you'll find all of my content, all of my articles, some of my thoughts. And there's also a link every single time I do a Twitter thread with just basic updates on the game. I'll always link my 247 game thread on there so that you can see more in-depth thoughts. The Twitter thread, I usually just do, anything major like an injury or like timeout updates, but on the message board you'll get a lot more of like my thoughts, what's going on, more breakdowns and analysis, more in-depth content as you're watching the game. It's just a lot more like you're watching a game with your friends, you know what I mean? Like you're commenting on what you're seeing in front of you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a great thing to do, and it's a great, we're trying to grow that back up and get that more active and all of that jazz.
Yeah, good stuff. I'll try to hop in there tomorrow. What y'all talking about? Your thoughts on the portal? Kentucky football in the portal
Making some big
acquisitions?
strides on the offensive line. I got another one today, I believe, another big
Mm-hmm.
offensive lineman, I think out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
So that offensive line's shaping up, coming together. I mean, obviously, there's been some tough losses we've seen, particularly in the wide receiver room with Cam Miller, Hardly Gilmore. Hardly Gilmore commits to Louisville, decommits again, and then goes to Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Miller obviously follows his coach, LaDainian Washington, who's at Ole Miss now. Not shocking. But all in all, I mean, I think that, especially considering all the circumstances, it's going as well as you'd expect it to be. You've got your quarterback, you've got a pretty strong offensive line. We've gotten some defensive guys coming through there, and you're also getting a lot more today. Players confirming their returns, players, I hate using this for college, but agreeing to deals to return to
Hey.
Kentucky.
Hey.
So, we saw today Abaselm on the offensive line. We got obviously Darren Stray left. I think he committed to LSU today, followed Eric Wolford. But a couple guys in that line have agreed to come back. A couple guys in different position groups have agreed to come back. I think we got Grant Godfrey is back. Grant Grayton, I think, is back. Several players in that defense, as well as some stars like Ty Bryant.
Yep.
Think who was it that entered the portal and got out of it? Wasn't Quaysheed, was it? Was it someone else that entered the portal and then chose to leave it again? That was a pretty good contributor on the defense, but they're getting pieces. And right now, when you look at it, there might still be some concerns as how do they fill out an entire roster with this, but they're making strides. And now, as you mentioned earlier with Oregon, before we got the Jalen Lowe news, now that Oregon is out, that's all they can focus on. They don't have to worry about anything else. No coaches in this team have to worry about anything else but Kentucky right now. Don't think
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky has any coaches from Miami or Indiana, so don't need to worry about that. And all their coaches are fully focused on the Cats next season. We saw Will Stein at the basketball game on Saturday. Naturally, a pretty
Mm-hmm.
short drive from Atlanta to Lexington, or a short flight. He got a pretty big ovation, had a Texas football player commit in front of the student section.
Yeah.
Pretty cool moment there. But
Mm-hmm.
man, he looks tired. Can't wait for the portal to close and him to finally get some rest. But
Yeah.
for now, keep pushing, Will Stein, keep trucking, and keep building this roster.
Yeah. Place she's not currently at South Carolina, right?
Oh, yes, I think so. There
He
was
was
somebody
he
that
was
entered.
from there, so that you can see him going back home. We've had some guys come back home. Purdue D lineman, and station now. So we've had it happen for us. Understandable that he would go back to his home state, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Eric Wolford.
I believe it is Grant Grayton was the one I thought that entered the portal and then came back.
Okay. Eric Wolford is getting a lot of SEC stops.
LSU.
Like Rodney Gardner for Tennessee. He's been, defensive line coach. They forget those people can back and word with Jeff about how many stops he's made. But Wolford's catching up, man. Wolford's getting around the league too.
Don't know. There's a ton of success following him around, but he's getting around.
He's still coveted. I mean, he just got
He's a
snagged by
fantastic
Lane
recruiter.
So,
Fantastic recruiter.
yeah. He'll be making his return to Lexington here this fall. We'll see him back when she comes to town. So, Sam Levitt, who we thought we had a shot at, we're going to see him and try to defend him. So.
Got another quarterback today out of Marshall. Got your backup to Kenny Minchie. Obviously, you expect to be your starter out of Notre Dame. You got your backup out of Marshall. I'm sure there will still be a quarterback battle. I mean, Brennan Ward's still in that room as well. But all in all, it seems like the quarterback room is about where you want it to be right now. So that's a good sign. Been getting some running backs. Obviously, saw Dante choose to leave. I think he committed to Georgia, which is
and he
all right,
Dante.
He
looks like a Georgia back. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit soured on the Georgia backs after the Sonny Michel saga, but
Okay.
I actually do. I wish my Christmas stuff was still. I actually do have a Hallmark. Hallmark makes those football player ornaments every year. You know what I mean? And I have a Sonny Michel one. So piece of niche history of Pats I have. I also have a Drew Bledsoe ornament. So shout out Drew Bledsoe. He was a sacrifice to create the dynasty.
That's right. It had to happen. You can spend a little time there for my Cowboys in this late years too. So how you feeling? You guys, you took care of the Chargers, dispatched them, held them to field goal, and so now you wait the winner tonight. That's who you get.
Yeah.
So how you feel either way?
I think the Texans are going to win, but I would love if the Steelers won. The Patriots lost to the Steelers in the regular season, and I think that getting that revenge, and I think they can get that revenge, would be really, really sweet. And I would absolutely get to stick it to Jeff Drummond, get to rub that one in his face. Also, my former assistant Ali Chetanok, get to stick that in his face too. But regardless, either way, I think the Patriots are capable. That Texans defense just scares me a little bit because the Texans defense is elite. I fully expect the Texans to beat the Steelers. But I would love it if the Steelers won that game and the Patriots had a chance at revenge. Almost like Kentucky. What am I doing? The Patriots had a chance at revenge. I think the Patriots are capable of beating both because I think the Patriots are winning it all. Biased fully. Full bias. I think the Patriots are winning it all. But I would like to see the Steelers more than I like to see the Texans because that Texans defense is concerning.
It's nasty.
It is nasty.
We will watch. We will have a national championship game that will come and go between now and then. Next a week from tonight, so that's happening as well. That's in Knoxville this weekend, but Baton Rouge Wednesday. So all kinds of stuff to talk about. Any kind of breaking stuff.
And it's almost time, Vinny. It's almost time. We go back to our preseason conversation. It's almost time for the Travis Perry return game.
Yeah. We had Maggie Davis on here.
24th.
That's right. We had Maggie Davis, and that's when we did the.
We asked about
Chip Trayanum
versus. Well, we saw how Chip did, so we'll see how Travis does.
Travis doesn't have that big a hurdle to clear.
No, he doesn't. But he also hasn't been playing great this season either. So.
And we haven't defended the 3 great, so I mean, but shit, we got to tighten that up.
It will be really funny if we had that whole conversation this summer and they both just have really mediocre showings.
Because Ole Miss is they're like 9-7.
They're poor.
They're Kentucky, man.
They're not good this year. If I go look at their resume, I can pull it up here for you real quick. They have struggled this year. Ole Miss is currently sitting at. I fear they did just beat Missouri, which is unfortunate. But they're 9-7, 1-2 in the SEC. They took some rough losses in the non-con, I believe. They had some close games against Austin Peay, a close game against Memphis, which normally is fine, but this year's Memphis not so much. Then they lost at Iowa, lost at Utah, and that's a struggling Utah team, shall we say. Lost to Miami, lost to St. John's. They won by 4 over Southern Miss. I think they failed to cover the spread against Alabama A&M. Then they lose by double digits to NC State. Lost to Oklahoma and Arkansas to start SEC play before picking up the win at home against Mizzou. Kentucky couldn't do that, so that's something. But Kentucky also beat St. John's, so we'll see.
That's true. Yeah. So there you go. Y'all follow Cole. Cole can take on the Baton Rouge. Appreciate everybody. Got somebody that subscribed to the YouTube channel while the show was going on, so appreciate that. Give them a shout out. Let's try to find it. Mark Grayson. So appreciate you subscribing, Mark.
And, shout out Mark Grayson.
Yes, keep checking us out there and tell your friends about it. Tell all the Cats fans about it, and we'll keep bringing episodes to you. Follow Cole's content. We'll have guests on as well from time to time, and we'll keep it on here on Believe in Kentucky. I can't say. I'll just see who the man roots for. I'm not a fan of them, but he's got team in the playoffs, so I can't be mad. Patriots doing their thing. We'll watch tonight to see who they get to play. And we're thinking it's going to be Houston, but with the way we predict things, it'll be Pittsburgh. So
That's gonna be stressful. I'll be in radio whenever I'm in the radio studio with Dick Gabriel and the Big Blue Insider. We're always in there. We have whatever the Monday night NFL game is on the TV, this giant TV on the wall in the studio. I'm not gonna be locked in on radio tonight. I'm gonna be laser focused at that TV, like reacting to every play, Texans Steelers.
Absolutely. We'll hop up here and let you get prepped for the statewide Big Blue Insider show. Y'all check her out on 6:30 a.m.
Also, quick shout out to Big Blue Insider. Gave me a special copy of this Adolf Rupp documentary.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
Hey, Gabe makes some documentaries now.
I'm excited to
98.
Excited to check that one out. Written and narrated by Dick Gabriel. Got a lot of stuff to get to. This is the stuff I've pulled off the shelf for this episode. We got the helmet. We got 3 books and a movie right here. Got to put this all away after the show, but wouldn't be me on Believe in Kentucky if I'm not pulling everything off my shelves every episode. Somehow I find new things to pull off the shelf.
That's it. Something triggers a thought, and then next thing you know, you got it right there. And Gabe is he'll make a documentary in a minute, man. And I quote tweeted my co-host on Cat Talk Wednesday, Terry Brown, said we need because you had the Rups runts, you had Pat Riley and all the guys come in over the weekend, which was amazing to see those guys from. And he said we need a documentary on Pat Riley, playing for Rupp and all his coaching with the Lakers and the Knicks and what he's done with the Heat. And so I just tagged Dick Gabriel in the tweet, and he said he'd love to make a documentary about Pat Riley because it's a legendary cat. And so I don't know, maybe
it made me laugh a little bit. I believe Pat Riley, the president of the Miami Heat right now, right? Yeah. When Pope said that they were going to be in Rupp Arena, the first question was wait, Pat Riley too? He's like, yeah, I believe so. He's like, the schedule works out. Like, yeah, he's supposed to be. And everyone's like, oh, okay. So they're like serious about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60-year anniversary. So anniversary teams for every decade.
The runts that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Dare I say the runts that we're talking about?
Absolutely. Here? Yeah. Absolutely.
There we go. That's 4 books off the shelf now.
That's it. Yeah. Cole's collection is elite. Mark Pepper say. We'll put a bow on this episode of Believe in Kentucky right now. Cole, be safe tomorrow. Go Cats Wednesday night. So everybody that's taking the time to watch and like and subscribe and review. Check us out on Believe Network. Co-partners Vinny Hardy. Another episode of Believe in Kentucky. I'll holler at y'all next time. Go Cats.